Welcome back to another video, and it is the start of competition block. I am less than 4 weeks out from powering through. Body weight is in a lovely spot, so I'm working with Jane Jones on my nutrition. We're like just over a month in, we're doing a really slow, steady cut. Basically, I was about 87.5-ish when we started. I am now down to, well, my weight's kind of sitting about 86 on the dot. I've had a couple days where it fluctuates a little bit below that, so a couple days where it fluctuates a little bit over that. Can't get my words out clearly. And we are completely on track. The plan there is to get to about 85.5 for when I'm just over a week out, and then acute cut from there. And I am just going to fully put my trust in Jane. One of the main reasons I picked her was because I knew I would trust her 100% wholeheartedly. And in all honesty, even if I woke up on comp day and I was still 85 and I hadn't really lost much from the acute cut, which is not going to happen, I woke up at 85 kilos the morning of British in November and I still made weight. So I know no matter what, I will make weight. But it's lovely. I have to say, like, not having my own nutrition taking up space in my head is one of the best feelings. Like, even though I found my nutrition relatively easy, anyone that's watched these videos for a while will know that I was really struggling with the accountability factor or lack of. And so just having her there telling me what to do each week and just having, like, paying the money to someone to do that, I'm not gonna mess that up. And also, like, I don't want to embarrass myself by not hitting my food, even though obviously it's not embarrassing, like, whatever. But anyway, can't stress how valuable I'm finding it having Jane in my corner. I'm also not gonna lie, part of me has been thinking more, or like I feel more open to the idea of hiring a powerlifting coach since I've been working with Jane, which I'm not too surprised that I've felt like this. I think I've been quite stressy recently, and one thing I've always said is if my progress stalls or if I'm not finding enjoyment in what I'm doing and coaching myself, I will reach out to coaches that I trust, book in some consultation calls and find out who I want to work with, kind of thing. And I have to say, like, part of me thinks that if these next couple of comps or the next few months don't go as I expect them to, and they should go, part of me does think I might just want to clear up some more mental space rather than troubleshooting my own training, letting someone else do that. Having said that, I don't think that's going to happen, but it feels weird to even be considering it as an option, because if you'd have asked me this a few months ago, I'd have said absolutely not. Like, I love doing it myself. And I do still enjoy doing it myself, don't get me wrong. And I'm going to go into some changes in a second around what I'm doing. And this week's worth of videos will be talking through any changes I'm making going into this comp, because I am trialing a bit of a different method now. So basically, last block, I didn't feel my strongest. So I failed my top set of squats for the first time in, I don't know how long. Like, I've not failed a squat since All England's last May. And in training, I don't remember the last time I failed a squat. Like, it was before that. So it's been like a good year of squat momentum, and my squat momentum even before All England's, when I did probably fail a squat in training, was still like up. Like, my squat's been blowing up for a good couple of years now. And I don't think that momentum's stalling just because I had one rough block just gone. Like, I genuinely just think that there was other stuff that impacted that end of block session. Deadlifts also didn't show up, but I do think part of that is just mental. And I've really given myself a good talking to. And I've actually been going back and watching old videos when my deadlift was at its best. And like, I can just see the shift in headspace. Like, I need to get back to that positive headspace, which is one big goal for this block, but I'm kind of rushing ahead here. Anyway, I sat down the other day after that bad session. I say bad, it wasn't actually bad. Like, 195 squat is still the heaviest I've ever hit in training. Like, I've only done it once before at British. Never hit that in training before. Like, it was still a very good, strong end of block. And I've tripled 190 the block before. Like, it was just a case of fatigue management wasn't the best, stress management wasn't the best. My neck flare up in the middle of last block would have 100% drained a lot of energy from my body. I ended up overshooting when my neck was bad because my body just wasn't recovered enough to hit the loads I'd prescribed myself. And it was my own stubborn fault for not being willing to adjust the plan, right? And I'm very aware that was my fault. So rather than going into absolute panic mode, I very much, like, I still enjoyed that end of block session, even though things didn't go well. Bench, I think it was just a case of sitting around too long between my singles and just kind of going in a bit too blasé, but that's fine. Bench strength, I know, is on the up. Like, the 110 I hit last block, well, both week 3 and week 4 of last block, felt amazing. Like an empty bar, amazing. Like, I could open on that and be happy. So I mean, I'm probably not going to open on that, let's just clarify. Anyway, my point is, I sat down and troubleshooted at the weekend, or troubleshot, I'm not sure, at the weekend around when did I feel my strongest? And there are 2 set periods that I remember feeling my absolute strongest on squats specifically, because this was the squat troubleshooting, okay? So last year, can't remember when it was last year, I think it was like September time roughly, I squatted 170 kilos for a set of 5 on my secondary day. And I can remember feeling like limitless that day. Like I remember on that day, my strength had just completely shown up, and I just remember squatting 170 for 5 and it literally feeling like I could have just kept going. When I think back to strong squat sessions, that one very quickly pings up in my mind. The other one is when I squatted 180 for 5 on my primary session, I think the second block post-British. So right at the beginning of the year, I squatted 180 for a set of 5. It was in January and it was so comfortable. Like 180 has never felt like that before, and it was so comfortable. Now, part of the reason it felt that good is because I was in an environment where I felt confident, I had safe like spotters around me, and I was just training with good people. But I was doing that the weekend just gone. I do that at all of my end of blocks. Like for that session, I went to Fortitude in Ipswich, but for the rest of my end of blocks, I've been going to Powering Through in Essex, and both of those places I had people there that I trusted. So that's not the common theme. Like I was looking at my programming and I was like, actually, do you know what? I typically feel my strongest after comp, like in my first, maybe not usually the block after comp, but the block after that, possibly the one after. Like the first couple of blocks out from comp, I feel my best. And I do think a big part of me feeling stronger at that point is simply just the mental rest of like, there's no pressure on me because I haven't got a comp coming up. Like I've got an off season, and normally when I tell myself I'm in an off season, things just skyrocket. Obviously my body weight would have been a little bit higher as well, but in that January when I hit the 180 for 5, my quality of food, I think I just started my cut when that happened, but like we'd not had Zuko long, my sleep was trash and my food quality was not as good as it like is right now. So I was kind of going through, basically, very long-winded way of getting here. I was just going through and thinking about when do I feel my strongest, and actually it's when I'm doing decent volume on my squats. So I've decided for this secondary day, one, to relieve some mental pressure of having 2 heavy squat sessions a week, but also to just trial something a little bit different and almost out of my comfort zone. It's not a massive change either, like it's a very small change. I'm actually gonna keep 7s on this Tuesday squat session. So in my old structure of training, this day going into this block would have been a top triple and back off high bar 5s, possibly 4s, but I think I would have kept 5s. But I was like, I think if I have a heavy triple, even though the RPE won't be that high, don't get me wrong, like when I say heavy triple, the load in my head sounds heavy to me, but actually I can make the weight move comfortably. That mentally is more draining than me having sets of 7. So I'm going to get to more of this in a minute, but I'm also taking bigger jumps on squats. So when I tell you my week 1 weight for these 7s, you're going to realize what I mean by the mental rest I'm getting from not having to mentally approach these sessions with as much intent, because the overall load on the bar is less, but my volume is also up, and my body, if I look back at training trends, loves volume on squats. As much as my lungs don't, my body does. So I've got a top set of 7 today at 132.5 kilograms, which isn't even my third warm-up normally. 132.5 kilograms for a set of 7, followed by 3x7 at 120 kilograms. So this day, the intensity is being pulled right back and the volume is going up. And I think that is going to be absolutely pivotal for me getting through this training block and having a great performance at comp. And if it doesn't work out, if this doesn't go as I'm planning it to, oh well, it's a regional comp with 0 pressure. This is the time to trial stuff, and that's what I've really had to tell myself. Like I don't deal well with change, and I have a structure that's worked for so long that now that it's starting to slow down and not work quite as well, I feel like I need to change something, but I'm a bit freaked out by the idea of change. So this is a minor change, but it also could have a really big impact on the end of block. So we're running 7s into comp, which is going to be fun. And with that, and this is the same on my primary day, I am taking bigger jumps from week to week. I need to start my block lower because my body and my mind are fatigued, and I can't keep starting my blocks with numbers that used to terrify me, okay? Or like that terrified me just a couple of months ago. So the reason I'm starting with 132.5 is because I'm taking a 12.5 jump each week on this top set. And it'll be the same on my singles on my Saturday session as well. It'll be 12.5 jumps each week. I'm stripping this fatigue back because my week 1s have been pretty heavy, which isn't a bad thing. My overall base strength is so high right now, and it's because I've been pushing for as long as I have. I've kept myself healthy, but I'm now going into a peak. I need to strip some of this fatigue back, and one of the ways I'm going to do that is by taking bigger jumps each week and allowing my body to just actually recover on this first couple of weeks of the block without the fear of not even the fear, I don't ever feel scared on my first couple of weeks of the block, but it's like, I know they're heavy enough loads. Like if I'm taking 10 kilo jumps each week, week 1 and week 2 are still pretty heavy, Like 140 for 7 if I was taking 10 kilo jumps each week would be my week 1. And yes, it's only 7.5 difference, but mentally 132.5 versus 140. Not that 140 is a weight that I'm even remotely scared of at this point, but it's like, that's a huge difference, right? So anyway, that is the plan with squats. Very excited to run 7s into comp. Probably not going to say that when I'm actually doing them, but I also know that like I can just crack through volume pretty quickly. My back offs also are going to be pretty light. Like I'm only going to go up in 5 kilos each week. Like they're going to stay in the consistent, just small jumps from week to week, so that I don't obviously just like go overkill, push them too hard. So yeah, that is the plan with squats. I'm really, really excited to trial. And if it doesn't work, oh well, which it will work, because the thing is, it's not that big of a change. And that's what I need to remind myself, like it's not a major change. I'm literally just going by data and trends, and I know for a fact the last time I felt super strong was when I was doing 7s on this on this secondary day. So that is the plan. So for bench, the plan is literally just rinse and repeat, except for the fact that I am condensing Wednesdays and Tuesdays sessions together. So if you watch my videos from last block, you'll know that on week 3, because of my neck flare-up, I had to merge Tuesdays and Wednesdays, why can't I talk? Tuesdays and Wednesdays sessions together and do one long SBD day. And actually my deadlifts, bearing in mind my neck was in agony and I was exhausted, my deadlifts felt the best they have in ages. And I knew when I went into my heavy session the week after that I was nowhere near as warmed up as I should be for those deadlifts. And I realized that actually I think it's time to bring my SBD days back and put my deadlifts back at the end of this like squat and bench session, so that I'm actually properly warmed up. Like, yes, I could spend more time warming up on my deadlift only day, but I'm not gonna do that because I know myself. And also time-wise, this makes me like have so much more free time on a Wednesday. So basically, accessories on a Wednesday, just accessories, mostly upper body, after comp, possibly after All Englands. I might not add them in after this comp. I'm gonna do a full body accessory day on this day and add in some more leg work that I think I'm missing. But at least for now, I'm not gonna change my accessories up this close to comp. I am literally doing an upper accessory day on a Wednesday. So on bench today, I've got my triples, 2 count pause, providing my neck can handle them, although it feels mostly okay today, so I think I'll be good. So I've got 2 count pause triples on bench, followed by 3x7 on Larsen, which the last few blocks I've been doing ascending Larsen. I'm not gonna be doing that anymore. I'm just gonna be doing 3 straight sets of 7 on Larsen, relatively comfortable, just to get that extra bench volume in. And then after that, we'll be doing our deadlifts. So we're top single, followed by a back off triple, followed by 2x5. Everything is gonna be sub max. Deadlifts are being pulled back. I am saving my pulls for the platform. The heaviest deadlift I'm going to pull this prep, going by the plan, is 165 kilograms, which is 25 kilograms below my max. And probably, depending on how things feel, that's probably around where I'm going to open anyway, because I've kind of told myself I'm not going to go crazy on deadlifts at powering through. I have a very limited number of heavy pulls in my body over a short period of time, and competing 7 weeks apart is probably the perfect amount of time for me to space those heavy pulls out. So I'm going to basically save everything for powering through. Probably still go relatively conservative just to make sure I hit my 3rd and keep that confidence there. And let's say I match my PB of 190. If that moves fast, then maybe at All Englands we can then, kind of rinse and repeat the pacing. But then I know I've got more in the tank to potentially go closer to that 200 mark. So, like I know, again, I was looking at All Englands footage and my series leading into All Englands last May, I think it was June. And I felt good for a 200 pull in that prep. So I was just going back through my videos and I was like, my deadlifts moved so much faster back then. And I'm only getting stronger. Like I only feel better in myself. Like my body is so much stronger than it was a year ago. Like I can't express it. But yeah, my deadlifts are slower and feeling worse. And I know it's all up here. Like it's all in my head. So the plan for this prep is to keep deadlifts light, keep them fun. Girly pop is going to be on. My neighbours aren't going to be happy about it. And just enjoy deadlifts, like literally just enjoy it. So that is kind of the plan for this day. So I've got squats, higher volume, bench, just cramming my 2 days of bench together essentially, and deadlifts, followed by a little bit of core work. To be fair, I am making core work a priority from now, because I also feel like as my squats are getting heavier, that is something I'm going to need to bring back in. So I'm just going to try and do like a little circuit, a couple of my sessions a week. Ideally, probably going to be on my accessory days, but because on Sunday we had to rush our accessory day for the F1, I was like, right, so first time I'll do abs or core work is going to be on this Tuesday session, and then depending on how I feel, I might do some more tomorrow. If not, it'll be my accessory day Sunday, and then it'll be Wednesdays and Sundays core work at the gym with my boyfriend, because he'll want to do it too, which is why I'm not just going to do it on these main days, and get that in and make that a priority and a non-negotiable. So yeah, that's the main change for this session. I will talk through Saturday's programming and stuff when we get there, but I'm very excited to try something a little bit different. I'm weirdly nervous about it, but I've been running this same structure for ages now, and it is time for a change, and I knew it was going to come eventually. And if anything, it gives me a chance to also just show some love to my deadlift now. Like I said this before, the difference between my squat and my deadlift is literally just because I'm having to push squat so much. So if I can get away with not pushing squat quite the same, my deadlift can have that chance to like rise, because my deadlift is not risen. But I know the thing I have to remind myself with all of my lifts is that my body is overall the strongest it has ever been, and it's the healthiest it's ever been. So my lifts have all improved. It's just that I haven't found the perfect way to show that yet. And obviously I was on track with how my squats have been going, and that's why I'm not making any drastic changes. Like I'm not adding an extra day or anything like that. But yeah, I kind of feel ready for a bit of a change, I think, which is why I was saying about potentially the idea of a coach, although I don't think it's going to happen, even just financially. Like I don't want to pay for a second coach to do my programming. Like I enjoy programming enough to keep doing it for myself, but I think I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to trial something a bit different. So I might kind of look into that, which, well, I already know, I'm not going to say anything on here, but I already have some ideas of like changes that I would kind of want to try. So we'll just see what happens from there. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get ready for this session. I'm really nervous that the neighbours are going to get mad at my music again. And it does make me not concentrate as much. But we will deal with that as the time comes. Like, obviously it's not going to be too loud. I'm not difficult. I wouldn't be rude. I wouldn't have it super loud. Anyway, not relevant. Gonna stop talking and gonna get this session done.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart, 'cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out. We've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Okay, so squats are done. I actually just had a snack as well because it's going to be a long session and I need to work on fueling my workouts properly. I'm really happy. I'll put the video up on the screen. I experimented with heels. Basically, when I went to my parents earlier today, I picked up my SPD sleeves. I wanted to get a hip circle band. It's actually made me laugh. I forgot I had these ones. The Grace Fit hip circle bands. Because I need to start warming up my hips properly before I squat, because I've been getting that pain in my left hip for a while now. And I do think a lot of it is just where my glutes just aren't really ever getting engaged or anything. Like they are, my glutes are weak. Like considering how much I lift and everything, like my glutes are weak. And it's something that I used to have to do quite a lot and I just got really lazy with. So my hip feels much better squatting today now that I've actually taken the time to warm it up. Also took some time to actually warm up my rear delts and sort of like loosen off my rotator cuff and everything. And elbow pain significantly reduced and just general comfort under the bar, especially because I forgot to say, which you'll be able to see in the videos, all of my sets on this day are now low bar. So I've gone to comp squat on all of my sets just to get more skill practice with that and just help it feel a bit more natural again, because that is something I have struggled with since doing high bar. But obviously high bar had its purpose and it's definitely been worth doing because my squat did kind of blow up with it, so no complaints there. But yeah, I took the time to actually warm up, but it definitely helped my squat feel better. But when I was picking this stuff up from my parents, I found my squat shoes and I was like, well, I might as well bring them here because they don't need to be at theirs. And I just had to try them. And I tried them because I've not used them since having rigs either. And like, my depth felt so much easier to hit, but to be fair, I did notice some knee issues, like literally just from that. My knees haven't been feeling 100% either, which is another reason why I decided to take high bar out. Like the last couple blocks, they've been getting a little bit more janky. And just overall, I think it's from walking to go through the woods and stuff. Like I've noticed like my knees ache when I'm on a walk sometimes now. So yeah, obviously I want to do what I can to keep those healthy, but depth felt much easier to hit in heels. And then when I went back to my flats, I felt like I was squatting so high, which I will be honest, I am a little bit worried about squatting high on comp day. Obviously I'm going to open light enough that I can just absolutely sink it. And I do think I'm sinking it when I go heavy. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm cutting depth, but it is something I get nervous about. But I get nervous about it every comp, to be fair. And I was absolutely fine at Commonwealth. I was absolutely fine at British, and nothing has changed within my squat. So I think I should be good, but I am obviously a little bit worried. And I also feel like if I don't get my bracing quite right and my upper body positioning quite right, like my rib cage kind of pelvis positioning quite right, they do look high. Even though I'm going the same, or I feel like I'm going the same depth, that slight adjustment in my posture makes my depth look a lot more undeniable. Well, I don't think my depth is ever undeniable, but you know, it looks more convincing. So that is one thing I'm like slightly concerned about, but I have got the option to try heels again, probably post this comp. I'll probably post All England, to be fair, unless depth is an actual big problem at this next one, and I'm desperate for a solution. But I might try running heels again for a bit, because I do also think when I squatted in heels before is when I first went narrow, because I couldn't hit depth without heels. And then because my knees got so bad, I tried flats. And I actually found that when I then went back to flats, I was staying on my quads a lot more, because my quads, from doing such a narrow stance, heels elevated squat, my quads were a lot stronger, which I think has led to part of my squat blowing up when I then went into flats. So even if I just temporarily wear them, I think it'll be good from like a development point. So could even do it as like a secondary or even a tertiary day if I decide to add an extra squat day. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I want to try squatting in them, and it did feel quite nice, apart from my knees already feeling a bit uncomfortable. But when I'm back in SBD sleeves after All Englands, I might actually find my squat pattern just generally feels better in heels, so it is an option. I probably should get some new ones, because these ones, they're actually so dirty, they're covered in dust. They've literally been in my parents' garage for ages. I literally bought these in like 2017, 2018, it was before I ever competed. They're so old, they're like the original Addy Power weightlifting shoes. But they are good, but they just feel a bit janky. They've got like no grip on the bottom either, so I've never felt particularly secure walking out a squat in them, but we'll see, it's an option. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to get on and bench, because it is getting quite late. It's like gone 8 o'clock, and I don't want to be in here too late, so yeah, going to get that done, and then deadlifts.
It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart, cause I know we won't make it out. I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't.
Okay, so I've literally just finished deadlifts, literally just put the bar down, so very out of breath. But it is 9 PM, so I want to get my core work done as soon as possible, get myself in, have a nice protein shake. I think I've got some carbs left to have, and watch an episode of Gilmore Girls that I started watching again yesterday for like the 10 billionth time. My camera is also on the wrong, but that's fine. So bench felt great. Last and press felt a lot lighter than I thought it would, even though it was at like only 77. I expected it to still feel somewhat difficult, and it just felt like an empty bar, so I absolutely rushed through it. Not overly happy with the execution, but at the same time, like, it was fine, and it still felt super easy, even though I've been lazy with it, so there's no extra fatigue just from me being a bit sloppy, basically, so I'm not too mad. But no, everything felt great. I feel mentally in a really good place because I've started this block so low. Like, it is a bit scary, I won't lie. As I was about to start deadlifting, I was like, 145 for a week one single on deadlifts is very low, like very low. Maybe I should start a bit higher. Maybe I should do like 150, but then I was like, no, because I'm probably going to take big jumps. I was kind of thinking 10 or 12.5 kilo jumps for deadlift. So I'm going to see how I feel warming up next week, and the range will literally be either 155 to 157, so very minor range. And hopefully I'll pace for 12.5 jumps kind of thing, but we'll just see. So basically I was mentally like, I can't only start my block at 1:45, like that's so low for me. But I was like, yes you can, like this is what you need to do, you need to try something new, like just don't be afraid to take a step back. And my body needs it. Like one, mentally I've had so much more fun having such a light session, but also physically, like my body does need it. Like I've been pushing and pushing and pushing, and the whole point of a peaking block is to being peaked for a comp at least means having that fatigue stripped back. And for me, with the way, like logically with how I train and also how I coach a lot of people as well, the peak is the easiest part. Like you've done the work, you've done the volume, you've done the high rep sets, you've done the heavy bits. Now it's a case of just letting that fatigue kind of slowly dwindle away throughout the training block and bring everything on the day. So I basically need to trust myself. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like I'm not going to suddenly get weaker just from starting lower in this block. So I had to give myself a bit of a talking to. And to be honest, because I think I mentioned at the start of the video when I was talking about the changes I've made, I mentioned that I'm starting at 1:45 on deadlifts. I was like, I'd have to cut that out of the video if I change it, la la la. Like obviously I wouldn't actually, I just admit that I changed my mind. But no, starting 1:45, so comfortable. Deadlifts also felt amazing after squats as well, like squatting and benching first. I'm very glad I put this back on this day. I think the only thing I have to make sure I do is don't let myself, I'm training much later today than I normally do anyway. Like I don't like training this late anymore. Like I try and avoid it as much as possible. I'm planning on hopefully, because Tuesdays are a relatively quiet day for me work-wise, providing I'm productive on a Monday. Because yesterday was Bank Holiday Monday as well, I did actually take yesterday pretty much off work. Like I did a few smaller replies, but for the most part I was off. So I had more work to do today, not much more, and I still finished in an okay time today because I had to go to my parents' house. But normally, like Tuesdays are pretty quiet, or I can at least make them pretty quiet and finish in a good time. Like I can be done with work by about 3:30, 4 on a Tuesday and then train. So I think I'm going to try and keep my Tuesdays as free as possible in terms of plans and stuff, and then I will prioritise obviously training a bit earlier. But what I was actually going to say was I think the only time, which is what happened before, that this is going to be a hindrance doing an SBD day rather than having deadlifts tomorrow or on a separate day, is if I start to feel drained by the time deadlifts get here. Which is another great thing about working with Jane, is that I know I'm going to fuel my training better because if I don't, I have to justify it to her why I was slacking, right? Obviously she's not scary, like she'd get it, but you know what I mean, like I have that accountability factor. And obviously I'm paying her, like I want to get the most out of her service. And so yeah, I basically just need to make sure that I keep mentally switched on. I think physically, I know I can last an SBD session. I train quicker than most people anyway. Like this session took me about 2 hours and I did procrastinate a lot in between squats and bench. Like I chatted to my boyfriend when he got home from the dog walk. Like I wasn't rushing between lifts, which is something I actually want to continue to do. Like I don't want to rush between lifts unless I have a really fast paced meet that I know I'm going to like have to literally go one lift straight to the other. I need to get used to taking my time a bit more. Like after finishing squats, take 10-15 minutes, set up for bench, take 10-15 minutes, deadlift. Like I need to let myself take a bit longer because otherwise on comp day I'm gonna burn out. Like this powering through comp, I'm pretty sure we're in flights of 14 lifters, which they are a very efficient group of people. Like I know the platform crew will be on the ball and quick, so it'll be relatively quick for a 14-man flight, but it's still a 14-man flight and I'm used to having like 90 seconds rest breaks. Like, so yeah, I'm trying to basically just be more mindful to take more time during my sessions, and I think that will help me with deadlifts in an SBD day. But I need to not get bored or not try and rush so that I get done quicker. Like I need to actually be present and just enjoy my session, which is something I'm really trying to be mindful of. And I've said before, like I'm trying to be mindful in my like in my everyday life anyway. Like I'm trying to be a lot more present, trying to stay off of this a bit more. So yeah, basically I think deadlifts on this day will be a great move. I need to trust the process with starting low, ending high. Like I think my training total this week is literally going to be like the low 400s, which is actually comical. And in the back of my brain, I'm like, oh, that's risky. But then I'm like, no, it's not. Like my squats aren't even that low. Like I think my Saturday squat is like 167, which isn't that low when you think how low I've started with deadlifts. But there is a plan. There is logic behind what I've done. I've been looking back at old trends and old data, and I think this is the best move to try and see if we can get every lift, like all three, there on the day. Like bench has been feeling super strong, so I haven't really changed much with bench apart from condensing Tuesday and Wednesday down. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I just want to say, basically I freaked out about how light my deadlifts were, but also mentally lovely knowing that I didn't really have to get too hyped. Oh, and also technique-wise on deadlifts. So I've said for weeks and weeks and weeks that I've been really trying to engage my legs more. And with that, I've kind of gradually gone a bit wider with my stance. And again, I was looking back at old videos of when my deadlift felt the strongest, and I don't know why I've been widening my stance. So today I brought my stance in just a little, like it's literally like an inch each side, right? It's not a massive difference, but if I look at my deadlifts when they're heavier, and like the last few blocks where I've been trying to stay on my quads more and I've actually just gone into a bit of a wider stance, as soon as I break the floor, my knees kind of shift in a little bit, like a little bit of knee cave, I guess. Like I get that on squats as well, but with deadlifts, I don't normally get that, and it's like a little bit of a shift, but it's almost like I'm getting out of the way of myself more than a weakness. So today, I literally just stood kind of where my knees would shift, only ever so slightly more narrow, which is exactly how I was standing when I was pulling like close, well, when I felt like I could pull close to 200 last year. And it felt so much better. It felt more natural. I didn't have to overthink it. So I'm kind of going back to that, and I'm basically, the theme of this block and this comp is trust myself, don't overthink things, let the work speak for itself. The months, years of work I've been putting in will come together on the platform when the fatigue is stripped, because I also have to let myself not be so fatigued. So yeah, okay. So it is Friday evening. It is 25 to 8 in the evening. I did intend to train earlier today. However, work got ahead of me, and then I just crashed and procrastinated watching Gilmore Girls on the sofa for about an hour and a half. But that's okay, because I feel really relaxed and like, I wouldn't say I feel ready to train, but I feel like calm, and that's good. It's only week 1, so I've had to move my days forward this weekend. So I am at a comp all day Sunday. I'm actually staying overnight Saturday night for a comp, because I'm literally handling all day Sunday, and I have to be there for, well, I don't have to be there for weigh-ins, but I want to be there for weigh-ins because my lifter's first ever meet. So I'm going to be there at 7 in the morning, and it's like a 2-hour drive from here, so I was like, I'll just stay overnight. Either way, it's going to be an early start, and I would rather not have to leave my house at 5 in the morning. So basically, I'm probably not going to get home until I don't even want to think about when. In theory, the comp, like the afternoon session where I've also got lifters, should be done by like 5 or 6. I'm not going to hold on to hope for that, because it's just not very likely. So I'm kind of telling myself I might not get home until like stupidly late Sunday, so I don't want to have to train when I then get home. Granted, I would probably be able to find a slot to get my primary bench in on Sunday while I'm there, but I'd still have to go and do my accessories when I got home. So just decided to move everything forwards, and also because I don't know when I'm going to get home on Sunday. Obviously, I want to get home as quickly as possible for Zuko. My boyfriend is about Sunday, but he'll be gone for a few hours in the evening too. My parents are going to come in and check on him, just that he's not left for like any longer than necessary. But obviously, I want to get home as quickly as possible to be with my dog, and also just to get to bed as early as possible, because he will be up early on Monday. So basically, I won't have time to train Sunday. So I was like, rather than, like, I considered doing a double session, and like just doing my priming bench tonight, and then doing like my primary squats and bench, and then all my accessories tomorrow. But I was like, that's just silly. Like, it's such a light week for me. I might as well just do my squats and bench, like priming bench, primary squats tonight, and then do my primary bench and accessories tomorrow. It also just helps with managing workload, because tomorrow I'm going to have to do all of Sunday's work to get ahead, so that I can just be present at the comp on Sunday. And then any last programs and stuff I'll get done Monday morning. But I'm hoping to get everyone ahead from tomorrow. So yeah, basically just getting myself ahead. So it's been quite a busy day, and I think that's why I needed some time in front of the TV, like just to prepare myself and have time to actually relax, rather than going straight from work to the gym, which I don't actually think works very well for me, because I feel like I'm stuck to my phone then, because I'm still looking for replies. Even though I try and not do replies on my phone, I try to do more on the computer. Sometimes it happens, and to be fair, while I've been watching Gilmore Girls, I've been replying to a few people that have just been messaging me through like small queries and stuff. So anyway, that was a lot of ramble. We are on week 1 of the block. We have made some changes to this block. We are 3 weeks out on Sunday. So this is week 1 of my block into comp. Have made a few changes, spoke about them a little bit in the last video. If I might be combining the 2 videos just because I'm a little bit behind, so if that happens, then that happens. So the structure of my primary squats and bench, and to be honest, this part of the week, hasn't really changed much. So I've got a top single on primary squats, and then I've got back off 5s, exactly the same as I've done in my back offs for the last few blocks. But I am pulling my back off load back a little bit. So this week I'm going to do 145. I'm just going to increase that by 5 kilos each week, so that I'm not inducing too much fatigue, because last block, I think on the week 3, I did like 160 for my sets of 5. and it was just that little bit too heavy. So I'm going to just pull it back a little bit, just to bring fatigue back slightly. And then with my top single, where last block it was a top double, the block before it was a top triple, my top single, I am taking bigger jumps so that I have week 1 to fully recover and really have like a good deload before I go into this block, or as I go into this block. So this week's top single is 162.5, which for me is nothing, but I need to treat it like it's everything, because one thing I am being really strict with on this block and leading into comp in general is like consistent effort and making things move as they should to help my confidence. So starting this block super light, like lighter than I normally would, a big reason for that is for the confidence of just making lifts move. Because I feel like I've been pushing so hard during this, I don't want to call it an off season because it wasn't really much of an off season. Like it was still training kind of like normal for me, like normal structure. But during this time I haven't been obviously competing and I've been doing more rep work and volume work. I've been pushing so hard. Like my week 1s, yes, I've been recovering on my week 1s, but they've still felt hard, I guess, like mentally, I think, more than physically. Like physically they've moved as they should, but mentally seeing certain loads on week 1 of the block for like X amount of reps has been feeling somewhat daunting, because it's been a very big confidence thing of letting myself believe that they should be week 1 weights. And obviously they have, like my blocks have been successful, so it should be week 1 weights. That's a lot of ramble for me to basically say I'm using this block to hopefully increase my confidence going into comp by starting that much lighter. It is a double-edged sword, because part of me is like, you're starting really light, like you're not going to feel strong if you start this light, but also I'm taking bigger jumps each week. So my last heavy single is still going to be similar to what it would have been if I was taking my normal 10 kilo jumps, and also it's 2.5 kilos different. That's really not much. So anyway, plan for today, top single on squats, 162.5, back off 5s, and then just 3x2, 90 kilos on my priming bench. And then tomorrow I'll come in and do my primary bench, and I'll just kind of talk you through what's happening there. But the structure for my primary bench is also exactly the same, because that has also been going well. So there's really not, to be honest, there's not a lot of changes this block. Like my accessories and stuff haven't really changed either. It's literally just bigger jumps on those top sets, because I want to recover more this week, because my last block ended with so much fatigue, and because my neck flared up last block as well, I just felt like my body was so exhausted. And to be honest, mentally as well, like I've been very stressy. Like the smallest minor inconvenience has been throwing me over the edge. So it's like everything is just being deloaded this week, like mind, body, everything. Just take it easier, and then hopefully everything will come together on the platform, which I have a really good feeling it will. Body weight is sitting like, it's fluctuating between like 85.8 and 86 pretty much on the dot. So body weight is in a really good spot as well. I could cut from here if I had to. The plan is with Jane to get myself a little bit lighter still, but I've still got weeks to do that. So in a really comfortable spot body weight wise. With the comp on Sunday, not being at home at all, food is going to be difficult. So I'm basically just going to do my best. I probably won't be hitting my macros. If anything, I'll probably end up under eating. Although then if I get super hungry, there is probably going to be some kind of McDonald's on the way home. But I'm not planning on obviously overeating and indulging. It's just going to be eat what I can to keep myself feeling good. I'm going to take snacks. I'm going to probably, if I can get some bananas from Tesco's, I was meant to go to Tesco's tonight and do a food shop. I couldn't get any bananas when I went last week, and I was really upset because I like to make banana bread a couple times a week to just have a plenty stocked up, but I haven't been able to get any. And I really, like, the idea of going to Tesco's makes me really, like, just not happy. Like, I hate doing a food shop. So anyway, I was going to go tonight because I also have to make up a chili tonight. I don't think I'm going to have time to now go to Tesco's because it's going to be like 9 p.m. by the time I finish training, possibly. Don't get me wrong, I don't think the session will take me too long because it's only really squats that have a decent amount of work in. Like bench, I can literally rack through in less than 10 minutes. But also I'm trying to actually have serious rest breaks right now with squats. So we'll just kind of see. But if not, I'll just do a food shop in the morning. I've actually got a call tomorrow morning. I've been emailing someone backwards and forwards. So I don't really know what the call is for. I think she said she's so a trainee journalist. I didn't want to get that wrong. Reached out to me, I think a couple of weeks ago now. And basically she's asked me if I can do like a phone call interview with her tomorrow morning. So I'm going to have a call with her at 10. I've told my boyfriend that he has to get up with Zuko tomorrow because over the Easter weekend, which was 4 mornings that he was off work, I got up every single one, which is not fair. Obviously I didn't mind. But I did tell him that Saturday, tomorrow, he is getting up because Sunday is going to write me off completely. So I'm making him get up in the morning. So I'm basically going to make myself get up and shower and eat before the call at 10, which means I probably don't have to get up until like 9ish. And then from there, I'm going to just probably go straight, do a food shop, come home, get all of my work done. I'll probably train just before I go. I'm aiming to leave here at like 5 p.m. And I'll have my last meal before I go, so I don't have to worry about taking food and stuff with me. But yeah, I get quite stressy when I'm away for a night, mostly because of the food aspect. Like I don't have a kitchen in my hotel. Like I've literally paid for the cheapest hotel I could find, which is actually like a 2-minute walk from the venue. So that's great. But it's annoying because like there's no fridge for me to take some like overnight oats or anything. And yeah, it's just stressful. There's no microwave that I can heat up some food in. But it's okay. I'll survive. It's literally one day and my body weight is in a really good spot, so it doesn't actually matter too much. But yeah, that was a lot of ramble. I don't think I've got anything else to really say. I'm just, gonna crack on, get the session done. I'm gonna actually take my warm-ups a bit more seriously as well. And I'm gonna make this all move exactly as it should. I am mildly worried about depth on comp day because I feel like my depth on Tuesday's session wasn't great and I was really trying and it was really light. But I think I'm just getting in my head about it. So I hit all my squat depth, hit all my attempts. Like I got squat depth on all of my attempts at Commonwealth and the British. So in theory, this regional should be no more strict than they were. Like British was strict as well. So I should be good, but I'm just a bit worried. And I know my videos look high and I actually don't know who's reffing my flight, but I feel like at this comp, normally the people reffing are people I know and they probably see my squats online and they're like, they look high. Because that's something that I notice when people post their squats, but it's all good. I'll be fine. And if I do end up squatting high, then I need to sort it out. So what better way to get called for it? But I'm going to probably get my boyfriend to come in and check, although I feel like he'll tell me they're in when they're not. But I guess we'll see. Oh my God, also, I'm going to put a picture on the screen. My boyfriend ordered something on TikTok Shop about a week ago maybe. And like we don't really do presents, like even birthdays and stuff, we don't really do presents. Like we'll just go for a meal or something instead. And he was so excited. Like he had ordered me a surprise and he was so excited for it to get here. I had no idea what it was. Like I was trying to guess. I'm not difficult to buy for. Like I'm someone that will appreciate anything, but I'm not someone that really wants much. So, and I was like, well, is it food? Because obviously I can't really eat like junk food right now. Like when I'm trying to cut for comp and he knows that I'm trying to like not do that. So I was like, it's probably not food. And I was like, what would he order me? He ordered me a Troy Bolton t-shirt. Now, I love High School Musical. I couldn't help but laugh when I opened this because it was literally the last thing I would have ever expected to get. Yeah, it was a Troy Bolton like XL t-shirt. And to be fair, it looks big and it looks comfy, and I will absolutely wear it to training and like around the house and stuff. But I was just so confused. I was like, I've never expressed an interest in Troy Bolton or Zac Efron. Like I just like High School Musical. But it was really funny, and obviously I'm grateful. And it was just like the funny, like he doesn't hate giving gifts. He just doesn't really get the point, which if you know him, like that wouldn't be a surprise. But yeah, I got a Troy Bolton t-shirt as a gift and I just thought it was so funny. So yeah, that's my little story for the day. I'm going to stop talking because I'm literally just talking to put off doing this. And that's not good. So I'm going to stop talking and get my music on and I'm going to focus. We've heard it all before. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. Hey. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright, so let's move on. 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 Okay, so it is 8:30. I feel like I got that session done in a pretty good time and I think it went really well. So I'm feeling a bit bloated, I'm not gonna lie. I had a tortilla for lunch because I've been craving a takeaway and I was like, well, normally if I'm craving a takeaway, it's basically just I want like the convenience of it and I need something that tastes nice. So I was like, I'll get a tortilla. I was in the city anyway, so I could go in and buy it, which makes it a lot cheaper than ordering it online. I went in and the woman was like rushed off her feet. I went in at like 2 and it was just after they'd had the lunch rush. And a lot of the things needed like topping up. So as I came in, the woman that was behind the counter was just like filling all the different sections up. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, like I'll be with you in a second. Obviously I was like, I'm not in a rush. Like, and I said to her, like, just finish what you're doing. Like there was no one behind me in the queue. So I was like, just get all of that done and then like I can wait, it's not a problem. And she was obviously appreciative because the portion I got from her was huge. Like I track my macros when I have tortilla because on the website you can get all of the nutritional information of what you have in your bowl. But obviously it's always like, it's not measured, so it's not completely accurate. And this one it was not accurate. She literally gave me like double of everything. So I'm very full since then. I am expecting my weight to have fluctuated up tomorrow because of this, but obviously we'll just deal with it. And I have had a little bit less of like the rest of the food I had for the day. And to be honest, I'm meant to have a chili in a minute, but I don't really want one. Like as I was training, I was like, yeah, my tummy's still like full from this meal. Anyway, squat depth. I think like squats felt more natural today than they have in months, I'm gonna say. Now, there are gonna be some reasons for this, but the first thing I wanna say is, I was wondering, and I had it in my head that going a little bit wider would make depth easier for me. No. Narrower felt so much better tonight. I went like, and when I say narrower, I mean like marginally, but I went slightly narrower today because I've noticed I've been going a little bit wider recently. And it's not been feeling great, and I felt like I was actually hitting depth. It's so hard to tell in here because I can't really put the tripod in a good position to tell. I think I'm going to move the rack actually back to the middle of the gym, which is a bit annoying for loading the bar, but one, I won't have the mirror in front of me and I keep forgetting to put the towel on it and I just can't be bothered to do it, so I'm kind of not getting to the point. Basically, I think I'm going to put the squat rack back in the middle of the room so I can at least film from like the front center ref angle, but squats felt like great, like really, really good. Especially considering obviously fatigue is going to be there still from last weekend. They felt good, like I'm really happy. I went slightly narrower, my brace felt better, the bar felt better on my back. And I do think actually the biggest reason it felt so much more comfortable on my back is because I did more low bar during the week. So on Tuesday I've taken out high bar and I've put just more low bar in. And I think that skill practice is exactly what I needed. And it felt really good. And to be fair, I did say this on like my second block of high bar, like back when I first put it in post-British. I did say that squats aren't feeling as natural on my primary day, but the way I'm building up my strength through high bar will be worth it because then when I get closer to comp, I can put low bar back in and that skill practice will be back, and it is, and it's feeling really good. Yeah, the squats felt good. Like obviously they were light, but they just felt really solid and I got through them really quickly. And then bench was just doubles at 90, which felt very comfortable. I did mess up my unrack on the set that I filmed and then I just kind of botched the reps, but it felt good. Like, everything felt good. And then as I was doing the first set at 90, I was like, I can mess this up and 90 is still nothing on the bar. Like that's so cool. Anyway, session went really good. I'm feeling good. I think that extra skill practice of low bar on a Tuesday is going to pay off, which means if squats are feeling more natural and getting stronger from that second exposure or like the added exposure of low bar, so I'm struggling to get my words out, does this mean that squats are going to feel even better on comp day when the end of the block gets here? We're going to have to wait and see.
Alright, so let's move on. Alright, so let's move on.
Okay, so it has been a day. It is Saturday afternoon, it has just gone 3. I am on schedule, I think, for leaving here at 5 to go to Essex to get to my hotel for like 7ish and just get an early night ready for the comp tomorrow. So the plan for today was to just get ahead on everything and set myself up for as much success as possible. So the session was really good, bench felt super strong. I am feeling really bloated because my morning was so like fast paced and like early afternoon. I literally just scrammed loads of foods in like an hour ago. So my belly is quite bloated, I'm quite full, which I've got legs to do when I get to my accessory session soon, so that's not going to be overly fun, but it's fine. It made bench feel really strong. Obviously 100 for me is light anyway, and 92 dribbles are easy for me, but they felt like better than ever today, so I'm very happy with that. Entry's also closed today for the women's All Englands. I still haven't 100% decided if I'm going to do it. Part of me doesn't really want to just because I think it's going to be a waste of money and it's just not necessary. Like I could just get straight back into building more. But I also think, one, I will enjoy it. I really enjoyed doing back-to-back comps for Commonwealth and British last year. Like I think My second comp, I had a lot less comp nerves, which I've got a lot of nerves going into powering through. So then I'm like, well, if I get through powering through, I can do the English as more of a fun comp. And we've got Tash and Holly, who are like, all three of us are like around the 500 total mark. And I think it's going to be a really fun battle. And I don't kind of want to miss that. Like, I think it's like the 84s hardly ever have a super like good competition. It's starting to get more competitive every year, obviously. And I kind of don't want to miss it, but I don't know. I'll decide when my email comes through to make the payment. Anyway, gonna stop talking, gonna wrap the video up here. Thank you if you made it to the end. I don't think I've got anything else to say. Obviously my bench session today is pretty much the exact same as it has been for the last few blocks because it's been going really well. So yeah, nothing to really say.